once again. I thought you might have missed me. Why? I have no idea why, but you might have. So I thought I'd get round to finally making a vlog for Caela, which will actually probably end up being quite a few vlogs because somebody, namely Elazar, gave me a list of questions the length of my arm. So I might cover a few of them in this. Is that what, 13, 14? Whatever. I haven't moved the book here in front of me, but I have all of them written down. I never remember them all. But yes, so I suppose some of these questions tie into what I want to say anyway. So Caela. Caela is in Sunburn. So Elazar's first question, how I came up with her. Well, basically, I was throwing around this idea now. Sunbirth came to my attention first. Something to do with Twister. I think Twister got a promotion. And then I went, oh, Sunbirth, what's this city? And looked at it and went, I actually quite like this. So I wanted to have a character there. So this is kind of end of December or whatever I'm thinking on this. And then I started playing around with this idea of having a seductive character. Because I don't have any characters that are seductive ever. I mean, ever. That just doesn't happen. Because, I don't know, it's not really in my comfort zone at all, so it's different. But at the same time, it's something I wanted to do. It was kind of like, well, I wanted that challenge, you know? And also, I thought a seductive character would fit Sunbirth better for some reason. I mean, it could have ended up being a violent character, but I had one of them. I have a Zira, and she's quite violent, so yeah, I have Caela. And Caela, so that's basically where what she sprang from, was a seductive identity. And then of course I had to be stereotypical and go, yeah, let's make her a blonde. But then, I don't know, her backstory just kind of popped into my head. I didn't want her to be that kind of woman, that woman who actually genuinely is a seductress who goes off and sleeps with men for whatever reason, whether she's a prostitute or whatever. I didn't want that. So, yes, that I suppose brings me to Elazar's second question, which is why dancing? Like, why does Caela dance? Well, I suppose basically the one thing she never wants to be is a prostitute, because her mother was one, and she saw how her mother ended up. She saw how other people reacted to her because of her mother, even just, you know, guilty by association kind of thing, but it wasn't like guilty, it was just, you know, various name calling, jokes, things like that, and she wasn't comfortable with it. And then, of course, as she got older and kind of the full impact of what it meant, that, you know, her mother's job was, she really did not want anything to do with that ever. At the same time, the culprit, or rather culprits for what happened to her mother were men, because that her line of work involved men. So basically Caela ended up as kind of a grudge, except she's very strange the way she acts out on her grudge, really, but she decided that if she was always interested in dance, which was one of those things she liked. But she decided, because she knew she was attractive, I know that sounds very vain, but she's quite vain in some respects sometimes. So yeah, she knew she was good looking. She knew, or she kind of grew to know, before her mother died, that she was able to attract men and basically use her looks to her advantage to get them to, well, not even to do what she wanted. That's kind of when it started off as being manipulation. But no, she quickly realised that men were very. I'm trying not to say this in a way that's going to sound offensive in any way to any man anywhere. But yeah, she realised that men were very prone to losing their mind around attractive women. We'll go with that one, shall we? So yeah, she basically realized that men would fall, not exactly fall for it, because it's not exactly a love thing, it's a lust thing. And then she could just say no, and just watch them crumple into a heap or something. Sorry, I'm being overly dramatic here. I'm tired. Don't even bother paying attention to some of the little things that go off on. I've been studying, and I've got Oedipus the King and the Country Wife and all these sorts of things in my head, which is just English, you know. I have exams on Monday, as I've mentioned to some people in chat. But yes, right. Where was I? So yeah, I suppose that partly answers Lila's second question about the why the dancing. You know, it was just that it was her way of seducing men without um, putting herself in a compromising position. Except she is in that kind of a position that she's kind of gradually come to realise. So I wonder where if she's been living under a rock or something. Her brain's been living under a rock. She hasn't noticed that men tend to attack, well, not exactly attack her, but they tend to do things she doesn't want while she's working. And somehow she hasn't realised until recently that's not a very good line of work to be in. So, yes, so part of that, I suppose I answered Elazar's third question, um, which is about Caela's mother, how she shaped her, kind of expand on that as well. Well, I've been gradually expanding on it in flashbacks. I suppose it's more alluded to. One flashback actually has her mother in it, but it's kind of after she realised what her mother was, because I swear she did live under a rock. Um, she never quite put together what a harlot was exactly. That her mother was one. She never put two. She never put two and two together. She never thought, "This is what my mother is. This is what she does for her job." It never occurred to her. You know, she just kind of knew there was something negative about it, but she never really thought about what her mother did. I mean, she was there in brothels and whatnot, and didn't think anything of it at all. You know, it was a really nice place and smelled funny. That's kind of it. You know, it seemed really luxurious or whatever. And it got into her head that her mother had a lot of money and innocent, naive, whatever you want to call her, that's what she was. And then, you see, she did have friends um, in the orphanage. So, she did know some of them. Mal is another one I've kind of alluded to. Actually, I've had a few threads with Mal. But he'd be Maliki, which is another name she finds funny. We'll get to that of why. Your next question, Elazar, of why she finds his name so funny. But yeah, Maliki's name she finds funny as well, and he doesn't like it either. He always called himself Mal. Made her call him Mal as well. But he decided to be very nice and rubbish in her face that her mother was a whore, and then explained in great detail what that meant, and that kind of shattered her world basically, because she had no idea at all. I mean, even the words didn't mean anything to her, but the description definitely did, and that was very disturbing for her. And it didn't help that after she found that out, she didn't see her mother for about a year. And then she was going to see her mother, and she could see everything that she, you know, through totally different eyes. Like, I have stepped into a brothel. She worked out why the perfume smell, how her mother looks, you know, even the way her makeup looks, you know, just how it kind of hides the cracks in her appearance or whatever, that she doesn't look good under it. Looks painted, you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, she realised that. She also kind of thought that her mother had kept it from her. But her mother hadn't exactly kept it from her, she just kind of never thought that Caela didn't know. I don't know, she's a brilliant mother, I must say. Um, but yeah, I mean, after that, Caela got over it. And then she felt more sorry for her mother because her mother was kind of, because she was aware of what her mother did and everything that was happening to her, then she understood why she was falling to pieces and was watching her basically go downhill totally. Um, Sorry, this is my granddad out in the hall giving out to the dog. Um, no, I was wondering whether he was going to burst in and ask me why was I talking to myself, but yeah, where was I? Caela's mother downhill. Oh yeah, and why she basically ended up not exactly losing her mind, but she just kind of became sort of dead towards the end, like before she died, and that really imprinted into her mind, into Caela's mind, just how horrible men could be, because men had caused that. So yes, she hasn't been very fond of them since. Occasionally she can be civil to them. She is interested in men, which poses problems for her, really, when you consider the fact that, yeah, she can be very contradictory, we'll just go with that. Um, but no, really, I mean, she's attracted to men, but she doesn't like men, but she does, but just pretend you know what I'm saying. But just pretend. We'll just go with that, right? Yes, so I suppose I'll move on to another question. Wonderful. We're flying through these. I'm on question number 4, like 13. Great. Um, so yes, Elzar wanted to know why Caela laughs at his name. Well, the thing about this is, Caela has a very high opinion of herself. Now you might be wondering how this is going to come in. But yes, she has a kind of a, I'm not going to say God complex, that's a bit too extreme. Um, but she considers herself kind of higher up the ladder than other Sunberthians. I mean, she thinks that she's above most people. She even thought that when she was growing up. I mean, first of all, it was the idea that she lived in, she had a room or whatever that her mother rented for her or paid for her, and there were other children and they were there in the orphanage. She picked up on the way her mother spoke and basically tried to copy it and basically shunned the typical, I suppose, whatever. Well, I'm not going to say typical. It's one of those things that pops up as being the typical Sunberthian accent, as it seems to be played out anyway. But she kind of shunned it. This kind of, what she thinks of as gutter talk. I mean, she can swear. And we're not talking gutter as in mouth and, yeah, anyway, never mind that. Kind of that low, what she thinks like low class way of speaking. So she shunned that totally. And so, even though she works at what she works at, which, depending on what light you look at it, can be a bit low class, you know, um, depending on what way you look at it. Um, she likes to think she's better than most people still. Um, so basically, Elazar is there, and he's this thief, this skinny little thief. I'm sorry, just don't even. I know I'm just gonna laugh at you, okay? We'll just get on with it. The skinny little thief who has a name like Elazar. Think about this. You know, she thinks the name is too grand for him, which is why she finds it so funny. It's like her friend Mal, as I said earlier, it was called Maliki, which she thought was funny as well, because as far as she was concerned, he was below her as well. So, yeah, she's lovely. Really, she's absolutely wonderful character. Very kind and thoughtful and, yeah, no. No, that would be very boring anyway if she was kind and thoughtful. Not that there's anything wrong with characters that are kind and thoughtful and yeah, anyway. So, yes, leave that aside. So that's perhaps enough of an explanation for why she laughs at him. Um, so, question number 5. How many men has she killed? Elazar seems to have this idea that Caela goes around killing men all the time. But, I mean, she doesn't really. Um, I suppose the closest she's come is either indirectly killing someone. I know that sounds really strange, but it makes sense. No, she was attacked by someone, and basically her boss dealt with them. So you'd assume they were killed, but you don't know exactly. So she might have indirectly had someone killed without asking. Um, but other than that, the closest she's come to was accidentally strangling Elazar. I know you wonder, how can you strangle somebody by accident? But apparently it's possible. Because, I mean, come on, he asked for it. I mean, he stole her purse, and then she was lucky enough to actually catch up to him because he ended up in a, blind alley. I mean, how stupid are you, really? That he should know his getaway route is the thief, for goodness sake. Um, but yeah, so the fact he tried to attack her with no weapon, and she's there with a dagger or whatever, which she doesn't really know how to use, by the way. So it was more for show than anything else. And then she wanted the purse, so she went after him for the purse while he was on the ground, and then he started pulling her hair. I mean, this is one of those laughable things, you know. I mean, this is schoolyard kind of stuff. You get into a fight and you pull somebody's hair. Um, you know, so she basically tried to. I actually can't exactly remember how it happened that she ended up strangling him. I think she was trying to basically pull him closer so they didn't have as much pull on her hair or something daft. Don't even ask me. I can't even remember. It's probably one of those things I've tried to partially delete from my mind just so I don't cringe at it. Not that it wasn't amusing to write at the time, but still cringeworthy in some respects. So yes, she has not killed anyone that I know of herself, personally. She hasn't killed anyone directly. She might have caused the death of other people sometimes by accident, and she almost killed Elazar, but that's kind of the extent of it. Yeah, she's not a particularly violent character. No matter how many times she waves a dagger around, she really isn't. It's really for show. It's just this idea that if you show somebody a dagger, they're going to go away. But really, if you're showing somebody a dagger, they should know it's for show, because if you've taken out a dagger, there shouldn't be any hesitation between, here's a dagger, go and attack. Okay, sometimes there are, but you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. Just take whatever I said and translate it into English. Um, so yes, that is the thing about killing. And so before I go, I'll answer question number 6, as I have deemed it, which is, what is Caela's favourite food? Now, Elazar, for goodness sake, how am I supposed to know what her favourite food is? I don't know what my favourite food is. How am I supposed to know hers? How can she might have more, she hasn't eaten all the food in the world, so she doesn't know if there's a food that she likes more than all the others, or whatever. She just kind of, actually I don't even think she's that interested in food. She eats, but she's not that interested in what kind of food she has. Does that make sense? She doesn't want to eat, I don't know, some grey, I can't think of words, I'm sorry, I can't do words at the moment. Wait, came to me. Some grey, unidentified substance. She's not going to eat that. But, other than that, she doesn't really care about food, so I'm afraid she doesn't have a favourite food, Elazar. I mean, as I said, I don't even have a favourite food. If you started asking me, what foods do you like? Okay, probably shorter than the list of foods I don't like. But, that's aside from the point. So, yes. No favourite food. Understood, Elazar. Right, grand. So, any other questions I do would be rather long, because I have her opinion of Sunbirth in general, which I could probably talk about for most of another video. If I could ever see her leaving Sunbirth, and if she did, where would she go? That's another one that would be fairly long. Her opinions on slavery, goals for the future, where I see myself taking her story, those kind of things. Well, I can answer that, does she do the life of her own thing? She does do it in some respects, but not as much as Azira does. Azira, I can start off, I'm not even joking, I can have a thread, and I can think, well, this thing happens. How would she react? So I'd come up with a reaction, and then I'd start. But the lead up to when this thing happens, everything changes. You know, she changes her mind about how she's going to react. Her mood changes, then her reaction changes. You know, the difference between whether she makes fun of somebody or whether she stabs them. You know, I know that seems very strange. How that they're kind of well, there's like different ends of the scale there, but you know what I mean. They're a bit different, a little bit different. So yes, Caela does do the life of her own thing, though not too often. Usually she's predictable enough, kind of. Though really, of course, it does depend on um, words. I can't do words. I'm sorry. I'll just give up. I'll just give up. We'll just give up. And YouTube cannot like me when I upload this video. And anybody who takes the time to sit and watch this video, I question your sanity, number one. Um, but I also apologise for the continuing horrible sound quality. Uh, I will need to get new earphones, so hopefully I'll get ones with the microphone thingy for the iPod, so then you don't have to listen to the air that crackles or swims? What? I'm sorry, I'm just going to stop talking now, just before I say something insanely stupid. Until the next Caela video, goodbye.